So you see all these, all different, and you're going to grab a group of cards out of the, let's move this here, just a batch of cards out of the middle, all right? You're just going to get rid of a batch of cards, and this is your choice. Done, whatever you want, as many as you want, just straight out of the middle, a few more if you want. Done? Yeah. And Donovan, same thing, just take a few cards out of the middle. Yeah, whatever you want. And you're just going to put them all together, all right? So random choices, right? The choices that you make.
Just put it together.
Mix these up. Malcolm, you're going to grab some off the bottom, near the bottom, whatever you want. Yeah, a few more if you want, whatever. Well, it's up to you. Your choices, right? The choices that you make. Donovan.
Yeah, let's grab some.
Yeah, whatever you want. Done. And you set those down. So far, 3 choices, right? Choices that you free to make. Malcolm, grab a few more near the top. It's up to you. Grab a few more if you want, Donovan. Grab a few. Whatever you want.
Yep.
Some out of the middle. Yeah, sure.
Place on the top.
Let's do a few more. Whatever you want. Chunk of cards. Done.
Yeah, that's me.
Easy. So free choices, random choices.
Yeah.
But your own choices.
Yeah.
This is very important.
Yeah.
The final choice, Malcolm, 50-50. All right, I split this up. You're going to choose one of these packets. The choice that you make, that's your final choice. So change your mind. You're going to make your final choice.
That one.
If you're sure, because you know you could choose this.
No, I want that one.
If you want to stick with that.
Yeah.
You want to talk about it, or are you happy with this?
That one.
That one.
Yeah.
That's what Donovan would choose. All right, if that is your choice, hold on to that. And I want to show you that you didn't choose these.
Yeah.
Cool.
Does these mean anything to you?
No.
No? These letters, these cards? Nothing.
No.
All right? The choice that you made. All these choices, you got rid of those, and then you chose this packet.
Yeah.
The choices that you made have led you to this packet. If I take this back, Malcolm, very, very slowly.
This is going to be something crazy.
It's A.
I didn't even spell my name right.
There it is.
What the fuck? Oh, okay, all right.
There was so many as well.
All right.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Have a look, check them out.
What? No. I can't figure that one out. I can't figure that one out.
That's crazy.
So this is something a little bit different. It's a deck. It's a deck of 52 cards. It's a little bit different in the sense that it's letters, not regular cards. All right. So instead of the numbers and the suits, David, you can see these. Each card is a letter of the alphabet. All right. So you're going to make some choices. Darren, you're going to grab. Let me mix these up. Shuffle these up. Start like this. And Darren, you're going to grab just a group of cards out of the middle of the deck. Just a random group of cards. Whatever you want. Yeah. And we just get rid of those. Whatever you want. And you just set those aside. David, we do the same thing. Just grab a group of cards. Something out. Perfect. And you're going to set those just on top. All right. So all the while we're getting rid of these cards.
Okay.
And Darren, you're going to grab some just off the bottom of the deck. Whatever you want. Done. Set those down. So these are the discards. David, grab a group out of the middle. It's up to you. And Darren, grab some off the top. Yeah, it's up to you. Whatever you want. Perfect. And then David. Here's the most important choice. So you've made all these choices, random choices, free choices.
Yeah.
From the middle, from the top, from the bottom. David, you're going to make the final choice, the most important choice. It's a 50-50. Which one? It's either this packet or this packet.
That one.
If you're sure.
Yeah.
Now, before we get rid of this, you see the cards doesn't mean anything to you,
No.
right?
No, so
You made that choice. You could have chosen this, but you chose this.
Sure.
That's the final packet to go, leaving me with just a few cards. Darren, we mix the cards. You chose random cards out of the middle, the bottom, the top, random places, free choices.
Yeah.
Leaving me with these cards.
Yeah.
Darren.
Don't tell me. No. Spill my sleep. No. That's mad. That's mad. That's mad. Yeah, that's mad.
Yeah, that's mad.
Yeah, that's mad. That's mad. That is bananas, bro. Yeah. That's still settling in, you know. Like, I can feel that. I feel a bit. Yeah.
Have a look. No, have a look.
That is.
So these are all the cards you got rid of, right?
Yeah. You got rid of all the cards. And it's got spell my name.
All of these, all the cards you got rid of.
Nah. Bro, I would have got up and running or like. You mind if I take a photo of it like that?
Yeah, of course, man. Of course. Yeah.
Take a photo.
Yeah,
I'll
whatever.
Take a photo. Literally, I just spelled my name, Darren Ray Bright.
But you spelled your name.
Do you know, I always used to wonder if these things are real, but that's mad.
That's mad.
Your name's spelled the right way, right?
Yeah, the right way.
R-R-E-N.
Yeah.
If I take these cards, and David, you place your hand on top, and just whatever it is, with 6 letters. Six letters.
Yeah.
I'm going to take David underneath your hand.
Yeah.
I steal one away, and you should feel it just a little bit shorter. All right? Now watch this. You bring your hand up for a second.
No.
Underneath your hand.
No.
Darren. So far, 5 letters, 5 cards.
Bro. My name was there. My name was there.
No.
Yeah.
Bro,
Yeah.
my hand didn't move.
No, and it was my name on there as well. I think that he just tapped it and changed it.
That's mad.
Yeah, bonkers.
Nah, that's mad.
Yeah, you should have thought on that.
That's mad.
Yeah.
That is mad. Like, there's 5 cards in now. There was 6 there before.
Yeah,
and
it's
you
so
just spell my name from your name. The fuck, like.
So now we get into the good stuff. Now we get into the, as I say, 2 routines that are just, hands down, the 2 most powerful routines that I have within Card Magic. The level of impact, the depth of impact of these 2 routines done in the right moment, there is no question it dwarfs anything else that I think is possible with a deck of playing cards. Not simply in terms of impossibility, but as I say, in terms of emotional impact. It's very hard to generate a truly meaningful, emotional, personal reaction from somebody with an arbitrary 4 of diamonds or a royal flush. It just doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean that it's not impressive, that it's not baffling, and that it won't generate a response. Changing one card to another, having cards jump from one place to another, great. It's wonderful, it's baffling, it is no question impactful. But when it comes to revealing personal information in an impossible manner, there is nothing that touches that. And both of the following 2 routines orbit around that very same premise. The idea of revealing meaningful information in an impossible manner. And they both do so in slightly different ways. The first routine, I'm going to teach you the name of, just revealing the name of somebody present. Fine, it's beautiful, it's plenty powerful enough. Then with the second routine, we're going to move into pre-show, using information that your audience knows that you don't even know in the first place. And then suddenly, I swear to you, you are dealing with miracle territory. The level of impact of that is far beyond anything. When you can shuffle a deck, they shuffle the deck, you end up dealing a small packet of cards, and they've spelt the name of their youngest child or the name of their favorite friend from school. It's a whole different thing. You are into religion starting levels of impact. But we're going to start with as I say, the name of somebody present with a routine that I call Goose Chase. So with Goose Chase, you want to obviously stack the name in advance. And if you know the people present, that is plenty powerful enough. It is meaningful, it is impactful. If you've read psychology, if you've read Dale Carnegie, you know that the sweetest sound to anybody is the sound of their own name. Instead of looking down at 4 aces, they're looking down at their own name. It's a wonderful thing. You can take the CEO, the wife, the host, the hostess, whatever it is, take somebody, stack the deck, and make them the center of the whole routine. It's a beautiful piece. I have received so many rebookings with certain levels of people through one of the following two routines simply because it doesn't baffle people, it touches people. It is so meaningful to be able to bring them into the magic, to make the reveal about them. Again, it elevates far beyond what is possible with a regular deck. So you find out the name of somebody present, and if it's an unusual spelling, or you haven't even been introduced to that person yet, all the better. So if you know you're going to sit down with somebody, maybe they have an unusual name, maybe they have an unusual spelling, all the better. So what you want to do is remove yourself, go to the bathroom, just step outside and stack the deck in advance. You can cull it on the fly. It's just so much more impactful when you bring the deck out of your pocket, out of your case, give it a quick shuffle and move straight in. If there's no fidgeting ahead of time, just bring it out, get straight into it. So you stack the name in advance, and for this routine, we're going to use the name Michael. Now for Goose Chase, you want a name that isn't too short. You don't want 3, 4 letters. Ideally 6, 7, or 8 is really the sweet spot. So in this instance, we're going to use the name Michael. And two things to note. The first letter of the name is the lowest most card. That's the lowest card in the packet. The second thing is that they're all oriented the right way. This is very, very important for the reveal. Again, you don't want to have to fumble at that beautiful, powerful moment. So make sure they're all oriented the same way. And then when it comes to revealing them, you can do so very cleanly without any fidgeting. All right. So like I say, 6, 7, 8 letters is about the sweet spot. You orientate them like this. You gather them up with the first letter at the face of the packet, and you put the whole thing on top of the deck. That's your stack. You put the cards in the box and you're ready to go. So when you perform this routine, and worth mentioning that perhaps both of these two routines are probably worth closing with. There's a little bit of process. There is one beautiful beat at the end, but it takes a couple of minutes to get there. So this is very much a closing routine. There's nowhere to go. You destroy the whole room, and then that's it. So you bring the cards out. You show the cards, you reveal them. There's a lovely display you can have here in which you spread them on the table, and then you turn them over like this. And what's great about this is the stack, of course, is at the top of the deck. But as you get to the top, you'll notice that it's almost impossible. It is impossible to see what these cards are, right? So you very quickly scoop them up. You can reveal them like this. So it's a nice way of displaying the shuffled nature of the deck without going all the way to the end and tipping your stack. All right, so you run through, you show all the letters, right, and just gather them up. And in that, it feels like you've shown the whole deck, but of course you haven't shown your stack at the top. All right, so again, you can shuffle them like this. And what I will say is, according to your proficiency with card magic, it's worth learning a few comfortable, casual, confident false shuffles in the hands, overhand shuffle, or on the table with a riffle shuffle, ways of just casually mixing the cards, but of course maintaining that top stack. You're not disturbing the cards on top of the deck. Obviously, very, very important to this routine, that you can just casually handle the cards, make it look very, very gentle, very offhand. You're just mixing the cards, but of course you're not. So be it an overhand shuffle, you're keeping back that top stock, be it on the table, cuts, shuffles, whatever it is, just make sure that you have a handful in your repertoire that allow you to, again, mix the cards, but actually be able to maintain that top stock wherever it is that you need it, at the top or at the bottom. Now in Goose Chase, I say to everybody, we're going to make some choices. I'm going to ask each of you to make some very, very free choices. The inspiration to this routine was a Ricky J routine that I saw many years ago. I believe the selection was at the top of the deck. Ricky J spread the cards like this and had somebody remove a number of cards off from this side of the deck, right, off the bottom. So somebody would take a number of cards like this and remove them. He would then gather up the cards. He would pause for a moment, little time misdirection. He would then turn to the spectator on this side and spread the cards this way and say, would you please remove cards from this side of the deck? And of course, it was still coming off the bottom of the deck. It just looked like the other side, right? So obviously, they are removing cards from where the selection is not. And I looked at that concept. I loved that concept of seemingly completely free choice within a very carefully guided section, and I wanted to take that a little further, layer it up, and apply this to this routine. So very simply, as the name suggests, Goose Chase is offering free choices to people, but of course their choices are always from sections of the deck where the stack is not. Your audience are going to make some free choices. They're going to remove cards from different sections of the deck. There's a very clean 50-50 choice at the end, and the packet of cards that you're left holding then spells the name of somebody present. incredibly powerful, very impactful. As I say, it's called Goose Chase and simply dances around the idea that you are offering free choices to people from sections of the deck where the stack is not. All right. So if you're standing up or if you're at a table, you show the cards, you turn the faces out to your audience, you give them one last shuffle, overhand shuffle, again, obviously maintaining the stack. If you want to, you can just spread the top few cards, look at the markings and just make sure you're in position. Nothing's been moved, nothing's been shifted, and then you're good to go. So I start very cleanly. I turn to the person in front of me and I say, sir or madam, would you please remove a chunk of cards, 5, 10 cards from the middle of the deck. I spread the cards like this, or I spread the cards on the table. They reach out and they take a chunk of cards very specifically from the middle of the deck. So let's say they reach out and they take a chunk like this. I say, fine, you take a few more if you want. They take 2 or 3 more cards like this, right? And I say, please, would you hold on to those cards? So of course, the stack is here and they've removed from the middle of the deck. I gather the cards up, I turn them to face the audience, and I give them another shuffle. So I shuffle the cards like this. Then I turn to somebody on my right and I say, sir or madam, would you now please remove some cards from the bottom of the deck? I spread the cards like this or on the table, and again they remove a chunk of cards from the bottom. So they take some from here, they take some off the bottom itself, whatever it is, they're just removing a few more. You say, yeah, two more cards, 3 more cards, whatever you wish. Removing cards from here, again, of course, the stack is safely over here. Once that's happened, I, depending on what they're doing with the cards, I say you can hold the cards. In fact, you can place the cards together. What that allows you to do is turn the deck face down and now run the stack one by one to the bottom of the deck. So hold them face down, run them off with your thumb, and as you get to the first letter of the name, you then shuffle off on top. You say you can put them all together, right? So very, very clean. You've had cards out of the middle, cards from the bottom of the deck. I then turn to the person on my left and I say, sir or madam, you're now going to choose some cards from the top of the deck, right? And again, you've just shifted the name to the bottom. You turn to this person and they take a chunk. They take whatever it is, 6 cards. You say, take, sure, 3, 4 more cards. They take a chunk of cards. You say, great. You gather the cards up. And again, the name is now here with, now because you've reversed the order, the first letter of the name is the uppermost card of the stack. All right. So in this case, for Michael, the M is here and the L is on the bottom. All right. So the final stage, you now need to be a little bit careful in your choices. You need to choose somebody friendly and amenable in the group, because now that you're down to fewer cards, it's very important that they're not going to be difficult and start taking cards from other sections of the deck. So you turn to somebody friendly and you say, please take a chunk of cards out of the middle. If you want to, you can actually find the first letter of the name, put 1 card above it and lock that in your hand. So you don't even spread the name, right? You spread the cards, you find in this case the M, lock that in your hand, spread the cards above, and you don't even offer that as part of the fan, right? Just again, so nobody's going to start being difficult removing letters of the name. I spread to somebody friendly and I say, please take a good chunk. And you adapt your language according to how many cards are left. Usually now it's about 20, 25 cards. They take a chunk out of the middle. Then you go to somebody very friendly and you spread the top of the deck, right? Something like this. And I say, sure, just take 3, 4 more cards. They take 4 cards like this. What you want to do is end up with approximately a number of cards that is twice the length of the name. All right, so what you want is to be able to split the pack in half with the name here and roughly the same number of cards here. So again, you go back and forth, take 2 more cards, 1 more card, whatever it is, until you're down to approximately twice the number of cards as the name itself. All right. So at this stage, everybody's holding the cards they've removed and you're down to just a very small packet. Final stage. I spread the cards like this. I look for the first letter of the name. And in this moment, you want to just maybe run the first 3 letters of the name, just so perhaps if there's 2 M's side by side, you're not going to have the double first letter. It happens very, very rarely, but it can happen on occasion. So just spread the cards. Make sure you've got the first 3 letters of the name. You know that there's not an extra card on top. Split it at that moment and place them on the table. And this is the final choice. Now you turn to the person now you turn to Michael. You turn to the person with the name that you've stacked. And I say, Michael, between all of you, you've removed these cards from the top, from the middle, from the bottom. I'm shuffling the cards all the time. You now have the final choice, the most important choice. It's a very simple 50-50. Recently, what I've started to do is spread them approximately this far apart. And I ask for their hand. I take their hand and I hover it above the center of the 2 packets. And I say, in a moment, you're going to take a breath. And when you breathe out, your hand is going to fall on one of these two packets. Now take a moment. Change your mind back and forth. This is not, you don't have to go with your first choice. This is very, very important. And you will think back to this moment and you will agonize over the choice that you made. So take a moment. Take a breath. They take a breath. And as they breathe out, their hand falls on either the random packet or the packet of their name. So let's start here. Assuming Michael places his hand on the Michael packet, you say, great. If you want to change your mind, you change your mind. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. But really play with this because it's a pivotal moment that they will agonize over later. If they choose the name, you say, great, that is the packet that you've chosen. You felt drawn, you felt attracted to this packet. For some reason, the energy of these cards, correct? They say, yes. You say, great, before I get rid of these, picking up the random packet, I say, I'm just going to show you these cards here, right? There's no meaning here, there's no relevance, nothing like this. You turn over these cards, you have them keep their hand on the packet. It's very, very important. You show these cards and you say, of course, there's no meaning, there's no relevance to any of these. They say, great. I pick this up and I give this to somebody, right? That's the first out. If, on the other hand, Michael places his hand on the random packet, it's just as clean, it's just as powerful. He places his hand over here. I say, Michael, but you have the option. If you want to change your mind, you change your mind. And you really play with this. Again, really give them that freedom of choice. He says, no, I'm going to stick with this. You say, perfect. I say, before you take those cards, before you add them to the cards in your hand, I want you to have a look. So I'll take the cards, I'll turn them over and reveal them, right? And just as what's happened the whole way through the routine, his selection is the cards that he's removing. Right? So in the first instance, you say you were drawn to these cards, you felt attracted to the energy of these cards. If they choose the wrong packet, you say, great, before you take them away, please, I want to show you that there's no meaning, there's no relevance, there's nothing here, there's no code, nothing like this. Great. So please add these to your hands and you say, great, between the three of you, the four of you, you've again removed cards from the top, the middle, the bottom, shuffling the cards all the while. And Michael, you finally chose these cards. You didn't get rid of these cards, and you point to the Michael pile. All right? So whichever way you cut it, it's a very simple equivoque. You end up with the Michael packet. At this stage, you say, right, together, collectively, you've made all these choices, and you've left me with just a small packet of cards. These are the cards that you've chosen not to choose. They say yes. At this stage, I look at Michael, and I pause. I smile, and all I say is their name. I look at them, and I say, Michael. I pick up the packet, and this moment it is so important that you slow this moment down because this is so impossible. It's so powerful. The selection process has been so fair. You really pause here. Smile, pause. Pick up the cards. Again, look for the one-way system so you know that you're orienting the cards the right way. You're dealing them like this. If it is the wrong way, I'll just rotate the packet in my hands, making sure that the arrow, the one-way marking, is pointing towards the audience, right? If it's the other way, you can turn them like this, but very often I'll rotate it in my hands. Let's do like this. I'll rotate it in my hands, and just that way I can deal it like this. So at this moment, I look at them, I pause, I say, Michael. I take the first card, I deal it on the table, and I just pause. And I promise you, the reaction to just this first card, everybody, they go, there's no way, there's no way. And I say again, you made these choices from the top, from the middle, from the bottom, all your own choices, different parts of the deck, shuffling the cards that you left me with. I turn over the second card, and the second card is ultimate confirmation of where this is headed, but they just cannot believe this. Michael will jump up, people run around very slowly. You deal the first two, then I'll deal the next. At this moment, you want to get through the middle cards a little bit faster. You're not laboring all of this according to the reaction. Just play with the energy of the reaction. Run through like this, and then right at the end, like this, having dealt the first few cards. For the final card, I will take this, I'll hold it up, I'll run my finger like this, show the singularity of the card, very slowly, lay this down, and throw my hands up like this. And that's it. And I promise you, the impact of what this is, it is so powerful, so beautiful, it's so meaningful to Michael. Again, if it's the host, the hostess, the wife, if it's a very important client and the child is there, use the name of the child, something meaningful that everybody will resonate with. And it just, again, you can shuffle a deck and deal 4 aces. It's impressive. It will elicit some kind of a reaction. It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't touch anybody. Dealing somebody's name in front of them, surrounded by their friends, surrounded by their loved ones, it is so meaningful. It's so personal. It just hits different, and it's very difficult to know to feel the difference, the dimension in the reaction until you do this for the first time. And once you do this, you will fully appreciate what this deck represents and what this deck can do. Again, you've gone through the deck, you've shuffled the cards, they've chosen all these random cards, and you've ended up spelling their name. That's it. You leave the cards, you show them, they can obviously examine all the random cards they have in their hands. You leave it on the table. Everybody loves to take a picture of their name. If it's a very special person, I will gather these cards up and give them the cards. You say, please, these are for you. This is a gift for you. Super meaningful. It's a beautiful way to end. And that is the end of the routine. So that is, like I say, Goose Chase, one of my most favorite routines. This was the first routine that I ever created with alphas. Again, 6, 7, 8 letters, something like this. Very, very clean, very direct, very powerful routine. Now we move on to the second routine with an added dimension of pre-show, a routine that I call Hands Off.